My name is Arlene Victoria Conrad.
Pierce Minor.
Peppy McNeil.
Krystal M. Harris.
Anthony D. Washington.
Jacquelyn Doggette.
Erwin R. Jones.
Coreen.
I learned about Juneteenth when I was 14 years old in high school.
I learned about Juneteenth when I was a young child running wild.
25 years old.
20 years old.
When I was a little boy.
Early to mid-20s.
17 years old.
I found out about Juneteenth when I was 20 years old. I found out kind of late.
You think you'd learn something like that when you were a child?
To be honest, I couldn't tell you when I learned it at whatever specific age. I've been celebrating Juneteenth my whole life. My family's just really big on that, being from Dallas, Texas.
I had a friend who was excited to tell me about her participation in the Juneteenth program at her church. And I had no idea what she was talking about. So I went home and I asked my parents about it, and they explained to me that Juneteenth is the official celebration of the emancipation of slavery for slaves.
I was a freshman at North Carolina A&T State University. I took an African American Studies course because I felt it was important for me to learn more about African American history, being as though I was attending an HBCU.
I was invited to a Juneteenth potluck and I didn't know what that was, so I looked it up. And I was in no way surprised that there was another instance of people lying to and exploiting Black Americans, but I was surprised that I didn't know about it.
You know the history in terms of the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, and then a couple years later, the last of the slaves were finally informed that they were free. But I didn't know it was an actual event until my adulthood.
Another part of American history was hidden until I was an adult.
I started polling my family and friends to see if they knew what Juneteenth was, and a lot of them didn't, because it just wasn't in our history books. We weren't taught about it in school.
You can't have American history without African American history.
Something they need to teach in school, and I've never heard them talk about this in school ever.
I wish it was more prevalent in curriculums and middle school, elementaries, and even high schools.
June 19th was the official day slavery had ended throughout the whole United States.
The Emancipation Proclamation was enacted January 1st, 1863, but it wasn't until June 19th, 1865, 2.5 years later, that all slaves found out that they had been free for years.
There were still slaves in Texas who had no idea that slavery had been abolished.
The Union Army came to Texas, and they informed all the slaves that were still there in Texas that Civil War has ended, slavery was abolished, and they were free.
A general rolled into Galveston, Texas, to let them know that these slaves that have been working for 2.5 years since the Emancipation Proclamation are actually free.
When they found out they were free, some people just started walking off before the end of the announcement.
It was met with jubilation.
Juneteenth is a significant American holiday.
Though I can't say that I've celebrated Juneteenth in the past, I do make it a point to acknowledge it every year. Juneteenth is very important to me and my family because I was born in Liberia and my last name is Jones. So I'm a direct descendant of free slaves that were sent to West Africa for colonization.
First time I actually celebrated it, I was up at college in Berkeley. The Black community there was really big on celebrating Juneteenth and making sure that we knew about our heritage.
We just get a lot of barbecue, drinks, turn up the music, just dance and, celebrate the holiday.
Cookouts, fireworks, parades.
Now every June 19th, I get together with a bunch of my melanated friends and we just cook and dance and have a good time, and we just let ourselves be. It's awesome.
Celebrating Juneteenth is hard for me because it's just a reminder of how much the institution of America hates Black people.
Though some of us were sent in 1820, it took 45 years for the rest of the Joneses and other families like mine to be free from bondage from their oppressors. And on that day, I know that they felt more hope for the future.
While there is still a very long way to go for Black Americans to experience full equality in the USA, Juneteenth meant a lot to my ancestors. That day really did make a huge difference in their lives, and I honor them by celebrating the day.
Juneteenth is a celebration of our Blackness, our amazingness. Yes.
It's something that I always cherish and appreciate because it's a time when we can get together and have a sense of unity, a sense of happiness and being proud of who we are, and to see how far we've come, and also to see how far we need to go.
Juneteenth is a celebration of freedom, a celebration of culture, a celebration of pride, a celebration of progress. And even today, we still celebrate those things, but we also fight for them continuously.
Juneteenth is about freedom. It's about community. It's about remembering and honoring the past while still looking forward to the future. Because the reality is that without all of us being free, then none of us are free. Happy Juneteenth.
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 Happy Juneteenth.